Welcome to Hope Academy. My name is Mr. O, and today I'm going to be going over specifically numbers 7 through 9 on the ACT Practice Exam 5, the last online exam provided on the ACT website. The link is provided below if you want to look at the exam. But that being stated, I usually do the questions real quick and explain in depth how I was able to get to the answer. So I'm going to go ahead and get started. So for number 7. Okay. Okay. Oh, okay, I get it. Okay, so for number 7, my final answer is going to be A. For number 7 particularly, I found that the wording was a little bit weird, which is why I had to pause for a moment to reread certain things. But the idea behind this question is that depending on whatever angle we're using for x, it's not saying that there are two different circles. It's saying that this is just for any particular radius of one circle, that if you rotate to whatever angle of x, this is whatever declared amount of area that exists. So it could be like this much or a bigger amount. And they're saying visually, if we create an XY chart based on this, what would it be? And so the idea behind this is that the more that I keep rotating, the larger the amount of area is going to go up. But that being stated, it's not going to go suddenly exponential where it's going to go like fly up, like example is like B, or nor is it going to look sort of like a logarithmic graph like C as shown right here. It's going to be a fixed rate because it's just the same amount of area every time if I rotate this X until it completes the whole circle, which is why for number 7, my final answer is going to be A, and that concludes my explanation for number 7. To continue on to number 8. So for number 8. Okay. 2 times 2 is 4 times 2 is 8, 10. So 2 times 10 is 20, 23. Okay, so for number 8, my final answer is going to be J. So for this specific question, I actually did mostly just mental math. It's perfectly fine to write on this type of question if you need to. The idea behind this is called the composition of functions, okay? And I actually do have a video under the math lessons playlist. Composition of functions, but I do have it under the math lessons playlist in case you do not know how this works out, or if you need a little bit more instruction to really understand how this concept works. But how composition of function works basically is that I got to start from the inside here and plug in whatever values I starting inside and then go outside. Okay, and so what I first did was that I took the h of x function right here, which is x cubed plus x, and I plugged in 2 because inside it says h of 2. So I need to take care of using the h function to figure out what the value will be. And so that's what I did. I plugged in 2 into here, and I found out it would be 2 cubed plus 2, and I mental mathed all this, which is 8 plus 2, which equals to 10. And so now that h of 2 is equal to 10, I do know now, they're asking me now the next step, and I'm going to use a different color for this, but they're asking me afterwards, what's g of 10 then, right? Which is then, it's going to be, technically the equation is 2x plus 3, and thus that means 2 times 10 plus 3, which is going to equal to 23. And that's how for number 8, I got my final answer of J. Now for me to continue on to number 9, the last question for today. So for number 9, it is a bit big, so some of the answers will be cut off, but we'll just be working around that. Okay, so in the figure below, points A and B are on opposite banks. Okay, approximately 18 meters. Oh, okay, so everything's described here. Which of the following expressions give the approximate appropriate distance between A and B? So they want this. Okay, 60, 45 is 105, 90 minus 105 is 75. Okay, 75. So sine 60 over x is going to equal to sine 75 over 18. Okay, so 18 sine 60 over sine 75 equals to x sine 18 sine 60 over sine 75. Okay, so for number 9, my final answer is going to be E. And I'm going to move it up to show you that I actually circled that in E, but I'm now going to explain to you how I was able to get to this answer. So my suggestion is that for this particular question, please do make sure to have the exam on you, or you have done this question so you can see it better or understand it. But the idea is that, and I'm going to write it out right here in this big blank space, is that there's a big triangle in the bank, And they basically, you didn't really need to read the word problem. You just got the idea that these are the key informations they do provide in the description for the problem or for the word problem. And they give you this information in the brown. Okay, and they want you to find the question mark. There are actually two methods possible in order to solve this question. One of them is going to be a law of cosine, and the other one's called a law of sine. Either or will work depending on how you solve it out. But for me personally, I actually took the law of sine process. Law of sine. And how law of sine works and the equation behind it is basically sine A, okay, sine A over A, actually it should be lowercase, sine A over A equals to sine B over B equals to sine C over C, okay? And so I applied this concept to this question, but before you could actually apply this concept, you need to make sure that you know one other little rule. This one's not as, this is not as big or per se has an equation, but it's just understanding that all triangles add up to 180 degrees. Thus, I understood that to find this angle right here, that I needed to do 60 plus 45, which is 105, and I did 180 minus 105 to find out it's 75, and thus right here is 75 degrees, okay? And now it's for me to just prescribe the specific parts that I need. So based off of the law of sine, I understood that I need to use this question mark because I'm solving for this question mark, and I also need to use 60, okay? Because I'm given a side and an angle. Thus how I set it up, because they're right across from each other, we sine 60 over question mark, or x, I called it x, but that's fine. And I also used the 75 and 18 because I'm given an angle and a side that I could use here. So I did sine 75 over 18. Afterwards, what I needed to know in order to finish this or to finalize solving this out is the cross multiplication process, called cross multiplication, okay? And so I basically did was multiplied across right here. So I did this to this, and then I did this to this. And then ended up just, solving it so that the question mark in the end, it's by itself. And so that's what I did. And so I ended up getting like 18 sine 60 equals to question mark sine 75. And then I divided by sine 75 both sides. And then my final answer was going to show up right here, which is 18 sine 60 over sine 75 as shown. And that concludes my explanation for today. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please do subscribe to our YouTube channel, like our Facebook page, follow us on Twitter, so that we can continue to make content like this. Please also feel free to leave a comment below if there are any other concepts you do want covered, or if there are other tests online that you happen to know that I could use. Thank you so much once again, and I hope you have a wonderful day.